Welcome into Saints Postgame Live. The Saints get a 34-0, yes, a shutout over the Patriots. We needed a get-right game, and they certainly did in New England. I'm Erin Summers, joined by former Saints linebacker Scott Shanle. I'm going to tell on you because before the game, you said that you thought this was going to be a defensive battle.
Yeah, it was one way. One team battle defensively. It was. If anybody watched the postgame show last week, we talked about sometimes going away from home can be the best remedy for a team. Mm-hmm. And the Saints, I think, just going to Foxborough, going and seeing in a place where all those banners are hanging. Bill Belichick is still on the sideline. I know Tom Brady's not there. I think it was just a perfect game, a perfect atmosphere to get them back to playing at a level that they're capable of. It
was a lot of fun to watch, and I know somebody who enjoyed it from Gillette Stadium was John DeShazier. We're going to send it over to you, John. How was the atmosphere there in Gillette Stadium?
Well, for the few Saints fans who were here, it was pretty jubilant. But, I mean, for the Saints, they needed this one, whether it was against the Foxborough Vocational School or the Patriots. They needed a win, and they got a decisive one. And to shut out an NFL team on the road is huge. I understand that the Patriots aren't the quote-unquote Patriots that we're accustomed to seeing, but still pretty impressive. And then you get the 3 turnovers to go along with it, the interception by Pete Werner, the pick 6 by Tyrann Mathieu, and then the fumble recovery by Cam Jordan. You know, all things working, and scored 3 times in the red zone, 3 for 3 there. So, you know, very, very good in situational football for the Saints, which is something that had not occurred this season until today. They were able to do the things that they needed to do and to stitch it all together in a complete game. And then you get Blake Grupe to make a couple of field goals, long field goals, 53 and 54 yards, which are good to see for the rookie on the road because, you know, he hadn't had any real struggles except for, you know, the game against Green Bay where he missed a 46-yarder that might have won the game. But he's 11-12 this season, and that's pretty impressive for a rookie kicker that you didn't really know a whole lot about, and he's shown a whole lot. So the Saints really pick up a good one on the road, get the shutout, get it going on offense. Not great yardage-wise, but they're able to score in the red zone. That's huge for an NFL team because if you can get touchdowns instead of field goals, you're going to put yourself in good position to win the game. And then I also like the way the Saints ran the ball in this one. They were able to grind that out a little bit and finish out with Kendre Miller after they start off with Alvin Kamara. Alvin runs for a touchdown. Now he has 73 career touchdowns, most in franchise history. So, you know, just a good day all around for the Saints in this one. Should be a jubilant locker room, really happy playing going home, and really the Saints have something to be proud of as they get ready for next Sunday's game at Houston, Erin.
So many positives to talk about after this one. Thank you so much, John. He mentioned the way that the offense was able to execute in the red zone. That was an area that they've struggled in throughout the season. 4 of 12 going into this game, and in this game they were 3 of 3 when they got down there. Yeah. They didn't necessarily have a ton of yards, but they were really effective when they got into scoring position.
Yeah, and it was a huge key to this game. There were so many things that I think many concerns people had about the Saints offense going into the game. But I think the play of the game, Tyrann Mathieu getting a pick 6, you immediately take the pressure off the offense because you scored defensively, and now you allow the offense to kind of play their game. And to your point, 3 for 3 in the red zone. The Saints going into the game were ranked last in red zone percentage. So it doesn't mean they're not getting there; it just means they're not scoring touchdowns. And we all know in the NFL, you can't win a whole lot of games consistently kicking field goals. So it was great to see 3 for 3. There were a lot of things they improved today. If a week ago you asked Saints fans what's your biggest concern, or even the coaches or the players, I think the Saints showed that they're capable of fixing a lot of those things that people have concerns over.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest concerns was their inability to score when they got within range, within 20 yards of the goal line. You mentioned the Tyrann Mathieu pick 6. The Saints started the game offensively with 2 punts, and then Tyrann has that catch, 26 yards in for the touchdown. How much did that change the momentum at that point?
Well, it's key. When you're struggling as a football team, and struggling is kind of a loosely used term because you're 1 field goal away from being 3-1 and not having panic set in. Now 2-2, people are starting to panic a little bit. You go on the road against a really good organization, and things aren't starting off the way you want them to.
Yeah.
Everybody wants you to come out offensively and just throw a 70-yard bomb, touchdown. You know.
Right, absolutely. They wanted the fireworks.
Yes, they want
away.
the fireworks, and it just doesn't work that easy when you're playing against other people who are professionals. They watch film just like you. Tyrann getting that interception, you can on the sideline, you can feel the offensive guys kind of just exhale, like, okay, the pressure's off of us. Now we can go out. And I think there were so many positives that came out of this game. You saw the offense attack different areas of the field in the passing game, which you haven't seen. seams down the middle, outside comeback throws, things that Derek's capable of doing. You just haven't seen it in the offense yet. So there were getting Kendre Miller involved. He had a lot of touches today. It's great to see your young rookie back getting a lot of opportunities. The offensive line getting to grind out a game at the end. Just running the ball consistently, that's going to help in the weeks to come. So just so many positives all the way around.
So many. And I know going into this game, the play calling was something that was coming under question. Offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael took full responsibility, said that he had to be better. You just mentioned it. You thought that the play calling was a lot more versatile.
I would say that. Yeah.
A lot different than what we saw last week.
Yeah. Yeah, and even so far, if you look at the last two breakdowns of the Packers game and then last week's game, there were a lot of throws to the perimeter, but behind the line of scrimmage, or they were just deep shots. There weren't a whole lot of plays that were working in the middle of the field, and I think early on in the game, it's almost like the Saints got the same breakdown. You know, they're saying, what are we not doing? That other people, you know, are seeing our tendencies. That's really what it comes down to. And they weren't working in the middle of the field. Early in the game, whether it was completed or not, you saw the Saints really attacking the seams, attacking those parts of the field that the last 2 weeks they haven't. And I think that kept the Patriots off balance a little bit.
Somebody that really got going was running back Alvin Kamara, and he said actually earlier this week that he felt like he almost was trying to do too much, play too fast in the last game, being his first game back, wanted to really affect things. Today, he looked like he played with a lot more patience, and he was more effective in just hitting the holes and gaining yardage. He had 22 attempts, 80 yards, and a touchdown today. So he was very effective in the run game.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of players in the NFL that can say they're playing too fast. I mean, a lot of players in the NFL.
And it'd be a bad thing.
Yeah, a lot of guys are trying to keep up with the pace of the guys in the league because of the athleticism. So, no, I think Alvin, one of his strengths has always been his patience, his vision, his ability to hesitate for just a half a second and find the right hole when he's running inside. Or just on the outside, he waits that half second, lets an offensive lineman, you know, make the block, and then he's off to the races. But I think there was one play late in the game that Alvin made where it looked like he was just going to run out of bounds, and he kind of slithers back inside, and that's vintage Alvin Kamara. Nobody, when people can't tackle him one-on-one in space, he's the best back in the league. And I think you've seen him do that over the years. So I know last week was his first game back, but his second game back today, he was making those plays like you're used to seeing 41 make, and I think that's a great sign.
What does it say about the balance that he has, the ability to make that move at that speed?
I just think he's one of those guys. He's one of one when it comes to his balance, his ability to. You see a guy like him, and normally it's the bigger backs, the Derrick Henrys of the world, who
played around here in a while. I thought all three phases of the game, came in and did their job and did what we needed to do to win the game. So pleased with the win, and now we start turning our attention to next week at Houston.
Yeah, what are some of the things offensively that kind of stood out positively?
Well, look, I think we were able to score points in the red zone. I think that was probably the number one thing. I thought we ran the ball pretty well in the game. So I thought, overall, I thought up front, I thought we did some good things, and I thought we did a good job of, being able to control the line of scrimmage a little bit.
You mentioned last week that, offensively, you think everything needed to kind of be a little bit better. Do you feel like they answered that challenge?
Yeah, look, the challenge really was for everybody to be better. So this wasn't an offense, defense, kicking game deal. This was a New Orleans Saints need to be better. We had to coach better. We had to play better. And I thought everybody, coaches, players, everybody alike, answered the challenge this week.
Did you guys put an emphasis on being more aggressive early on to kind of set the tone? And we're going to go down the field and it's different than what we did last week?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think we wanted to, come into the game and be able to run the ball and throw the ball effectively. I really thought we had some opportunities that we could have taken advantage of that we didn't take advantage of. So there's still a lot of things we have to clean up. We obviously wanted to be aggressive. We wanted to, be able to move the ball and score some points, and ultimately we were able to do that.
Dennis, what was the atmosphere like in the facility this week?
I thought it was great. I thought our guys, knew what we needed to do. I think they understood that the previous performance wasn't good enough, and we knew we had a better team than what we put out there, and I think today we came out and answered the bell.
Dennis, you mentioned the defense answering the bell too. What do you think about their performance today?
Yeah, I thought defensively, I thought we played well. You know, I think third down defense was really good. I think, you know, our ability, you know, to be able to get off the field on third down, you know, helped us to be, and then our ability on offense to be able to run the ball, you know, kind of maintain time of possession. I think that you know, got out of whack a little bit in our favor in the game. So I think that was a huge part of the game. You know, I thought our guys did a pretty good job up front, you know, being able to stop the run and also being able to, you know, kind of get after the quarterback a little bit.
Can you talk about the spark that Tyron with that pick six, kind of just, you know,
Yeah, I think that's huge. You know, being able to take the ball away, you know, early in the game like that, and create a little bit of momentum on your side. I think our whole team kind of fed off of that, and that was certainly, you know, great to see. It's been a while since I can remember that we scored, you know, on defense, and so that was a little bit of an emphasis this week too, to take the ball away and, you know, potentially score on defense.
Dennis, I know Pete was pretty adamant about taking all the blame for the offensive struggles this year on Friday, saying 100% my fault, I got to get better. What kind of conversations did you and him have? Not asking for details, but just, you know, about him wanting to come into this game, be different, get a different outcome, not just on the scoreboard, but
Yeah, look, listen, we talk every week, and you know, if you're having struggles in an area, there's very few times that you can point in one individual direction and say that's the issue, you know. So, you know, the challenge this week was for everybody, players and coaches, to show up, you know. And I thought our guys answered the bell and showed up today.
Yeah, obviously we got lost in a 34-0 game with Blake Ruffy with the 2 long kicks. You know, what's your confidence level in him right now?
I think it's extremely high. You know, I think he's kicked the ball exceptionally well for us, and had zero reservations about having him, you know, attempt a long field goal. So it's great to see him do that.
Dennis, Allen just walked in the room and obviously he's now the all-time touchdown.
It's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you just speak on just, you know, just an overall, you know, picture of him?
Yeah, look, I mean, he's been outstanding for our football team. You know, both in terms of his production on the field and in terms of his leadership in the locker room. I think it's been awesome. You know, there's some plays in the game today that probably don't stand out to the naked eye, and yet you just watch some of the, you know, his ability to make guys miss and create plays is pretty awesome. I thought he ran the ball exceptionally hard today, and so we've been working to get that 73rd touchdown. You know, so it's been a while for us to finally get it. So it was good for that to happen.
Yeah, this is the largest home loss, shutout loss in Patriots franchise history. I mean, could you have seen anything like this coming this week?
No, look, I mean, you know, our deal this week was just focus on us, focus on what we have to do to be better, and then go out and execute our jobs, you know, on Sunday in the game. And I thought, you know, everybody as an organization, I thought did a good job of doing that.
This is kind of what you thought this offense was capable of. At least
I think this is what I think this is what I want our team to look like, you know. And now the challenge is can you replicate that week in and week out, you know, in a tough league that we play in. And so I thought we had a great week of practice. I thought our preparation was awesome. I thought our focus was awesome, and I think the results showed.
Can you just defining that a little bit? Like, what are the elements that from this game that specifically, like, these are the 2 or 3 things that you want your team to look like?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, scoring a lot of points and not giving up a lot. You know, I mean, I thought we did a good job being efficient offensively. You know, we were able to run the football. You know, we took the ball away, which created some good field position. We played smart football. You know, we still have to eliminate some of the penalties, but you know, overall, I thought it was a you know, well-played game.
You had emphasized tackling and pass rush in previous games. How do you feel about the progress that you saw today?
Yeah, I thought it was better. I thought it was better. Obviously, I'm going to go back and look at the tape. I'm sure there's going to be some things I won't be happy about, but overall, I thought overall as a whole team, I thought it was better.
You said last week Derek had to deal with some shoulder soreness towards the end of the game. But this game, it seemed like he was still throwing deep, like even towards the end. So how did he hold up?
Yeah, I haven't even talked to the trainers yet, but yeah, I'm assuming he's okay. Yeah.
But, I mean, that seems like a good thing, no? If you didn't even have to talk to him about it.
Yeah, no, I didn't see anything in the game, and yeah, it's all good.
You saw Chris Olave getting some work before the game. Was he dealing with something today?
He had a little bit of a toe prior to the game, but made it through fine. We'll see where he's at, but I thought he looked good. All right. I'll let you guys talk to Alvin. All right? Yep.
I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah.
How do you feel to break the record?
I mean, I hate to sound like so boring about it, but I just wanted to win. It was good though. I think I'm happy because my teammates were so hype about it, and everybody was kind of like, man, we've been chasing it. So it's just I think I'm in a blessed position because it's almost like my teammates wanted more from me than I do, But it's definitely a blessing. I think.
You said after the last game that because the offense struggled so much, there's going to have to be some conversations.
Mm-hmm.
What was said, and did you see the end result of this today?
So yeah, I said there was going to be some tough conversations after last game, and those conversations are between the people with a fleur-de-lis on their helmet and on the hat, aka coaches and players. So I won't tell you exact details about it, but I think anytime you find yourself in kind of like a lull or a rut in anything, but obviously in this game, in this sport, you got to find a way to fix it fast, right? Because sometimes it's you get in those ruts and it compounds and it starts to just turn into your identity. So that's the one thing that we didn't want to happen because we know what our identity is, and I think we kind of got a chance to put it on display today. Everybody was locked in and focused on the goal, and that was a win. It wasn't really looking at a score; it was just trying to play.
How do you think the running game helped you guys in the red zone?
I think we talked about it during the week. When we can run the ball efficiently, it just opens everything up, and then the defense being able to stop the run. I just want to address. Because I was just thinking about it. Tyrann Mathieu owes me a pick. I think Cam owed me like a sack or two. Mike owed me a catch. So I'm going to put Mike and Derek in the same bracket. I don't know what it was, the throw or the catch. Mike owed me a catch. Chris owed me a catch because I seen him make them catches before on that sideline. What else? I'm going to just blame something on DA just because. Pete was good today. I think it was good to see Pete out there having fun. It was like he took a deep breath and just exhaled. It was collaborative though, I think anytime we can go out there, execute. We still have some penalties. Foster owed me one. C's I think owed me one. Shaheed owed me one. I'm just recalling everything that hindered us from being having the score go even higher, but. Anytime we can go out there, collaborate. I think me and Derek were talking all game. I was going to Pete, kind of trying to nudge him to run some things that Mike likes, that the O-line likes, some things that I saw that I like. Me talking to JT, talking to RC, just collaborating and doing what everybody's comfortable with doing. Talking to everybody, seeing trying to get in the minds of everybody on the O, and get the ball spread out and trying to be efficient on offense so we can operate. We got too many playmakers to have a shitty offense, and I think today was a good example of what we could do when we're collaborating and hitting.
So Oju how? Like they almost had it. Oju how?
Shaheed went offsides. Foster went offsides. So Omi as in don't do that shit. I got a very, very good memory, so I think those dudes they harder on themselves than I'll ever be. But I'm gonna talk shit though. It's like we need that. They know it though. It's not like me getting on them, but it's like, man, we gotta. If some of those penalties, we doing what we doing. We need to stay ahead of the chain so we can get more. Like shoot, Foster jump outside, it might have been the ball coming to him. You know what I'm saying? Shaheed jump outside, it might have been the ball coming to him. So. Those guys know we take accountability for it. We just gotta, with a win like this, it's still stuff we can clean up. So I'm saying that to say it's still more out there. It's still more. I mean, it's still more for me out there. Like it's some stuff I can clean up. It's some stuff Derek wants to clean up. It's some stuff that we still got in our back pocket that we didn't call today. I know Mike wanted some play. He was going crazy for it the whole day, and Derek was like, "Bro, no, hold on, like let's relax. We'll get it on film." But I mean, it's just. When guys are out there hungry and we're hitting on all the chords and just collaborating and having fun. I mean, it's you see what the result is.
Talk a lot about like this standard here and like what you guys can be or supposed to be. Was this close to that? Like you're stuff in the right direction?
Yeah, I think. I mean, the 7 years I've been here, we used to a certain. I mean, I'm just talking for offense. I'll talk for offense first. We used to operating at a certain type of efficiency and a certain level of I guess just I mean like efficiency and effort and just optimization of where we can score at will, right? And we can stay ahead of the chains and limit the penalties and the self-inflicted wounds. So when you can do that in this offense, man, the possibilities are really endless. And like I said, with the playmakers we have, there's enough for everybody. And then as a team, as a whole, I mean, when the defense is doing what they're doing, it can get ugly, So I mean, it's a great feeling to go out there and kind of put that on display and kind of wash away what happened last week.
Final question.
At the facility?
Yeah, and just coming off last week's loss and just kind of trying to put that behind it.
Man, it was another work week. A win or a loss. I think the losses hurt, but it's the same thing. You got to move. You got to kind of have a short memory with this profession. So we lose. Obviously, it's you never want to lose, and sometimes guys, and I'm not talking about us, but sometimes I think it's easy to kind of get stuck in that, and like I said, that lull of like, oh man, we lost, like. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Instead of just being like, all right, we lost. Let's flip the page and let's keep going forward and do what we got to do in practice to, put our best foot forward the next showing. So that's all we focus on. I mean, it was another work week. Obviously, we addressed what happened on Monday, and then we had an off day Tuesday and got to work on Wednesday. It is what it is. It's rinse and repeat. So, I mean, we got how many more games? We got to keep going.
Any reason it looks so easy?
I don't know. It was great. It was great weather. I don't know. It was collaborative, man. It felt good, man. It was a team win. Special teams, defense, offense. That's kind of when it looks easy like that. It's probably a reason, and that's when it's a collaborative. I don't know. I ain't never had a Patriot on my helmet, so I don't know what they got going on over there. I mean, they'll got so they'll figure it out. Appreciate y'all.
Franchise touchdown leader? Is that rushing touchdown or just all touchdown? Career, all time. Gold standard. That's why I had gold cleats on. Gold nose ring. Have you envisioned this kind of dominant performance? I always envision this type of performance. We're always striving for a perfect played game in all three phases, and we say it each and every week. And at some point, I'm sure fans, reporters are like, when is it going to be played? Sounds like this week we played a close to perfect game, and there's still plays that we could have made. We're just going to continue working on our craft and try and get better each and every week.
What's it like?
I'll get out of here.
Like playing in the game when you're just getting a bunch of boos out of the whole crowd. Like, do you like this?
No, I mean, you know how hard it is to be in NFL. You know how much work we put in as players to reach a Sunday. Like on any given Sunday, it's the reason why it's a phrase. You could have a great team lose one. You could have a bad team pop up with the win. We work our butts off on our craft each and every day, to eliminate penalties, to eliminate the room for error. And yet on a Sunday, we're only human. There's room for error. There's a reason why we go through so many reps just to go through 40 or 50 plays on defense or 60 plays on defense. Leading up to that, we practice 3 or 4 times as many reps as we'll get on game day. We're trying to be perfect. We're striving to be the best at our craft. And when it comes down to a game plan and executing at a high level, we did just that. I hope that's our new standard.
And this week, I don't know if you heard Bill Belichick, he had told you, I think it was like one of the hardest working players in the league or
ones that he has the most respect for.
I appreciate that.
Did you hear that ahead of time, and just to kind of hear that now?
Before the game, you try and tune out everything. I mean, we just lost the previous week. I'm just trying to get a W in the win column, whatever gets us there. It has been a great part of my career to turn the page after 24 hours and look towards this next week. So the moment we flip the script after the loss last Sunday, got to Monday, I'm gung-ho on zoning in on Mac Jones and his offense, Bill Belichick, who is one of the most phenomenal coaches you're ever going to see, legendary Hall of Fame coach. So if he said anything positive about me, great. I have to go earn it. If anything, I figured there was going to be some chips my way that were not going to be what I wanted. But as a defensive line, I think we created enough havoc in the backfield to get the job done today. I think guys in the back end, Tyron sitting over here with that first pick six, popped the game off, draw blood. You feel like the DBs were on top of their game, which made Mac that last series in the second quarter actually hold the ball. Once he hold the ball, we had to make him pay.
Holding the team to 1-14 on Thursday.
Better than 8 of 13 or 8 of 15 last week. Again, I was scorned last week by things that felt like weren't a part of our identity going forward and going into this game. And from this game on, I hope that's a part of who we become. We're officially, almost a third. I'd say a quarter through, but a third through of the way through the season. In the next couple of days, and we're just trying to keep on turning this page. We're going to enjoy this win, but don't make a mistake. Whoever we play next week, we got to start honing in on them right now. I believe it's Jacksonville, but I could be wrong. Houston, I was wrong, which means Jacksonville's after Houston. Like they said, I only focus on 1 week at a time. I could be wrong. I hope that what our defense played today is just the tip of the iceberg. The way Double D played, coming downhill, covering guys, everything that he's been all-world, all-pro for the last few years. How DBs are getting more confident, start breaking on balls. I feel like even our depth is starting to get a little bit stronger. So the better we can be as a defense, the better we can be as a team.
Is this what you guys can be today?
Tyron? Yeah, what he said. No, I hope, again, we're creating identity, and I think we got away from that this last week. If we can continue striving for a complete game in all 3 phases, I hope to assume this is being the regular for us.
Cam, I was just saying how important it was for you guys this week coming into the game about causing havoc and creating turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you saw specifically, preparing over last week from the Patriots that kind of gave you guys confidence that you could do that, or anything?
It's about us. At the end of the day, if we play our game our way, there's nothing that anybody can do to take away from us. I think we have power players at every position. I think we have talent at every other position. And honestly, if we play our brand of football, if we play with the intensity, the energy that we have, and can try and continuously take and enforce our dominance in each series, I hope that becomes a new standard. Again, we got to work for it each and every day. So this game is great. This game was awesome. This game was fun. And I hope it continues to be this exciting. This is fun for the Saints. All right, I'm out. Bye.
Your first touchdown as a New Orleans Saint, not only the play itself, but how much did it mean to you to do that in that uniform?
It feels better when you win. You can make those kind of plays, early on in the game, and it doesn't necessarily, help the team win. So, I'd probably say it feels better to win the game.
Can you just take us through that play and what you saw?
Just saw the ball in the air. I think the D-line was hunting, all day, and anytime you see a ball in the air and no one's around it, you just try to get under it and really just secure the catch.
I know it's an emphasis for the defense always to take away the run game, but for you playing back in the secondary, just can you describe a little bit of the ripple effect of what it means to take away the run game in a game like this?
Yeah, we got a really good defense, and I think when we're playing well, at all 3 levels, I think it only complements, all of us. If we're able to stop the run, guys in the secondary could kind of, show their ability, right? And, obviously guys like Cam and, Grando and, Breezy, like those guys could show that they can get to the quarterback. So, and, vice versa. We're covering well. Those guys could kind of pin their ears back and, hunt the quarterback. So, we just try to play, complementary ball, all three levels. That way, all of us could kind of, get a taste of that, success.
Secondary's kind of managed just fine, but just the boost of getting Howden in, did you go back today?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of our deeper, positions on the team. So, obviously we get May back next week, and he'll be another boost, for us, going to Houston. But those guys are, two guys that we count on. They play a big part in our scheme. So, anytime those guys can kind of show up and make plays for us, it's good for the team.
Aaron, AK was saying that this week at the facility was no different, because you just kind of put the script after a loss. Right? Is that hard for a team to do still? Like, does that kind of require the veteran kind of guys to be like, look, there's still 13 games left in the year?
Yeah. I mean, you never want to lose 2 games in a row. And so, I think as players, you got to kind of take that accountability and that responsibility. So, I thought throughout the week, guys just showed up, doing a little bit extra, watching a little bit more film, because you never want to lose 3 games in a row, not in this league. And, I think we all kind of understand it's still early in the season. And, we got a lot of ball left to play, but, you just want to find a way to kind of put your best stuff on tape. And, I thought coming into this stadium, with this coaching staff, who's a team that, doesn't matter, what's going on. They've always been a well-coached football team. So, and this is a great environment to play in, So, we knew coming into this week it was going to be another challenge for us. And, I thought we just did what we were supposed to do as far as, starting fast and, finishing strong today.
You said you agreed with Cam's assessment. This is kind of what you can be.
Yeah, I mean, this the big league, man. It's hard to shut out teams, each and every week. Obviously, things have to, go in your favor, right? Maybe they get a holding call that kind of, push them out of field goal range, right? Maybe they fumble a snap. Maybe you get a turnover. So, it's tough to do that, week in and week out. But, I think our attention to detail, obviously the way we impacted the quarterback today, being aggressive, at the catch point, all those things are things that, we expect to do, week in and week out.
You just mentioned impacting the quarterback. What did you do specifically in order to get that done?
We just played our style of defense. Wasn't a special call that we made to, get after him. I thought the D-line just kind of took it personal this week. Last week, just felt like Baker had so much time, in the pocket. And so, you knew those guys was motivated, coming into this week. Obviously as a defense overall, we were motivated as well. So, we just try to do what we do, and play how we play. And, it kind of fell in our favor today.
You've had some pretty impactful games here, pretty impactful plays. Any reason why you like playing here?
Yeah, man. We were talking about that before the game. It seems like every time I come up here, I get a pick. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like the same type of pick, right? Like it's usually a tip ball, that kind of just falls in my lap. But yeah, man. These are places, in games that you'll remember forever. Playing against a franchise that's won 6 or so Super Bowls. It always kind of gets you motivated, for the challenge to. And then they got great fans too, So I think a combination of all that, you don't need no creatine or no energy drink to kind of get your day started.
Can you tell us just a little bit about what you've seen in terms of growth from Jordan Howden? 2 games now, he had a pretty big impact play in this one. Just what have you seen from him?
I mean, he's a smart player, and he's a tough player. he's a guy that's, probably going to help this franchise, for a long time. And so, his role is constantly growing, week in and week out. I think the biggest thing with young guys that's is just making the plays that come to you, right? Like not trying to do anything special or, anything outside the scheme. It's just kind of letting the game come to you, right? And, he had a lot of big plays, today for us. I thought he was going to catch that overthrown, post today. But he'll get that, man. He's a tough kid. He's playing with a cast on his hand, in the big leagues, right? And so, having a tackle and having to, get off blocks, those kind of things could, be conscious on your mind, and it may allow you not to play to your, full abilities. So, it's great to see, not only is he a good football player, but he's a tough kid too.
He had talked about in his first game, sort of having these moments where he was kind of overthinking or thinking about making a play. Is that kind of what you're referencing about making tackles, getting off the last thing?
Yeah. I mean, I'm in year 11, right? And I still have my moments, right, where I may overthink a situation. I may guess wrong on the route, right? Like I may shoot the wrong hip, when it's time to tackle somebody. So football is a game of mistakes, right? You're going to make a lot of them. I think the biggest thing is trying to minimize them. So, but he'll be all right. He'll have a long career. So, he just needs to get out his head, a little bit. But he'll make a lot of plays in this league. That good?
I had to wait on this kind of game. It's been 5 weeks in, but this is what you envision this offense being like when everything's working.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the year, we want to be able to go into a game. It doesn't matter who scores, who has the touchdowns, who played. We just want to play good football and win. And today was the perfect example of what we've been hoping for, right? Like no one's in here thinking about stats and Pro Bowls and all that. We're thinking about how many wins can we rack up and can we win the last game of the year, right? And so to see us play the way that we did today from a whole team aspect makes us feel good for sure.
From the opening drive, you guys had the ball first, there was a different approach from the offense. It seemed like you guys wanted to be aggressive. A couple balls you threw down the field, it didn't end up in the hands of the Saints play, but it was kind of a different mindset this week from what it was last week. Was that a point of emphasis?
It definitely was, yeah, absolutely. Because if teams are going to play us a certain way, especially, they're thinking about my shoulder and things that we're trying to do and all that kind of stuff. So we had to show them that we could, the potential for down the field shots were there, and we were able to hit a couple, not on the first drive, but we were able to, you throw enough of them, you can hit a couple. And we were able to do that today because we had some good looks to do it. And so as an offense, we still have so many things to correct penalty-wise and so many little details that could have got us an easier field goal or easier for a first down or completion. And we got to clean those things up. And if we can keep cleaning those things up and be better next week, we feel like we can keep getting better as a team.
Derek, how big was that 3rd and 11 that you hit Michael Thomas for 26 that you eventually got that first touchdown? Was that kind of like the spark for the day for you guys offensively?
Yeah, I don't think our demeanor or mindset changed at any point throughout the day. I thought we came in with a great focus. I just felt like that play, obviously it's 3rd and long. We don't want to put the defense again back out there so quick. And Mike did a great job going across the middle, taking a hit and making a play. And he did that a couple of times for me today. He even knew it was going to be that type of day. It just is one of those things. And, he was able to stand in there and make every play that, we needed, except for the first one that we talked about.
Earlier this week you said the running game is a defense quarterback's best friend. I mean, just specifically on that running game today, having that be as effective as it was, how much did that open things up?
Well, then we run a play action, and they get back under the play action because they come up for the run, then they turn their backs and go for the play action, and I check it down for 30 yards. It just to Kendre. Like that's a perfect example of how it all works together, right? Like if they come down a little farther and there's a window for Mike or Chris on that play, I throw it to them. If not, I check it down, and they're playing the run, and now they're getting back. They can't just be one-dimensional, and so it all works together. And this is the ultimate team game. And so if I can do my job, it helps AK. If AK does his job, it helps us. If the line does their, it all is moving and working together all the time.
How important do you think the performance was for Pete?
there was no different thought this week. There was no different feeling. We knew what we have in Pete, and we believe in him. And like I never lied to y'all. Like we think the world of Pete, and so I just know that I've been in tough times, and when you do go out and have a good day, it's always a relief. No matter it's always like, all right, let's at least get 7 days answering nice questions about some things, and so. But that's this business, and he knows that. I know that playing quarterback. The head coaches always know that, right? They got to always answer questions, and so it is what it is. But our confidence never changed in Pete, for sure.
Earlier this week, you said that every time you go against a Bill Belichick defense, it's like mentally exhausting. I think it's kind of the term that you use.
Yeah.
How are you feeling now? And how are you feeling now?
Yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, it is mentally taxing. They do a great job with personnel groupings, putting sub defense, playing base fronts, and you got to get everybody on the same page so we're blocking the right guys. And they do a great job of trying to mix those things up, and different pressure looks, not running the ball into those, and making sure they'll hold the disguise until that play clock's at 2 seconds, and you got to make sure you're right to help the team. And Coach Belichick is, like I said before, he's one of, if not the best coach, of all time. And so anytime you go against him as a quarterback, it's a tough out, it's a tough day, but you just try and be efficient, make the best decisions. Do your film study during the week, which is a tall task. But yeah, I'll be asleep on the plane probably.
Sorry if you've already asked this, but with the red zone conversion today, 3 for 3, how well, I guess relieving is it that you guys were able to convert there? And is 3 for 3 okay? I know you said 4 for 4.
I said 4, and then I'll give you a high five. Once we go 4 for 4, I'll give you a high five. I got to be a man of my word. My yes is my yes, So, we got 3 of them, and that just helps the defense. If we can get touchdowns when we get down there, it's a big emphasis for us this week. Is we felt confident, always in the game plan that, hey, when we get down there, let's make sure that we execute. And sometimes it may be a field goal, but to come away out of a game, especially in this stadium, against this scheme with those players, that's an exciting day for sure.
This game with 2 pretty key injuries on defense with Judon and Gonzalez. Did that change how you guys approach the game or anything like that in terms of going at their tendencies, anything like that?
No, but like I've always said, those are 2 really good players. I haven't played against the young corner, but watching him on film, he's very impressive. Especially the job he did against Tyreek and the things they were asking him to do. And then Judon's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. So whenever someone gets hurt, it's always hard to replace those guys. But for us, especially when you play Coach Belichick, it doesn't matter, what 11 he's thrown out there. He's got something. He's going to try and stop you. It's going to be a tough out for sure, no matter who's out there.
Kendry Miller, it seems like his role has just continued to grow.
Who's that? Sorry.
Kendry Miller.
Yep.
What have you seen from him in terms of his progression, the trust level?
Well, I just love his mentality when he gets in the huddle. I've been in there with some young guys sometime, and I'm like having to remind them of everything, and hey, make sure you do this now. Go fast, like trying to remind them to play fast, and like Kendra, he just is a football player. He just, you tell him one thing, we break the huddle, and I'm like, hey, make sure on this. He's like, I got you, bro. And boom, I hit him in the flat. Boom, he breaks tackle, gets the yards. It's like, when you have a young guy like that with that much confidence, you just hope that his confidence just keeps growing because he'll just keep getting better. He'll play faster and faster, and he'll see the cuts faster. He'll play faster, but he's got a great guy in front of him to learn from too.
Derek, you talked a couple times in the last month or so about Mike knowing he's going to be in like a spot where he might get hit when he's catching.
Mm-hmm.
Do you appreciate that in a receiver, or just like the physicality and knowing that you can throw a type of ball and he's going to kind of come up with it 7 or 8 times up?
100%. They brought we did something today. We didn't even talk about during the week. They went cover 0 on 1. And I saw it, and versus this certain look. I just looked at Mike and gave him a hand signal, and we didn't even talk about it. We did, but we, through our communication, our growth together, and our relationship, there are certain things I just say, hey, be ready all the time if this, and he's like, yeah, I like this route, or and they gave us a blitz. They're bringing one free for me, and he's got standing there and take a hit, and I got standing there. And that's football, sometimes, and to see, us complete that, him take that hit, hang on to the ball and pick up really a big first down for us in that moment. They're all big, but just the way that happened, I thought that was a big play in the game. And it shows the rest of the team that 13 will do whatever it takes to win.
It was third down in the fourth quarter. Right?
Yep. Yep.
And
I thought it was third quarter.
It might
Yeah, okay. All right.
They sent like an 8-gap blitz, I think. Out of the
Yep.
How was your relationship with him kind of growing, even in the season? It seems like it's kind of been something you guys have continued to build on.
Yeah, it's growing, and I love Mike, and the one thing about him is, his communication is so great during the games, and him and I can't, grow and do that in training camp. We can't grow and do that in OTAs. You have to play real football games. You have to get on the same page when it's live bullets, and I'm not even saying preseason. It's got to be like regular season games, where teams are really game planning and trying to scheme and doing things. And so, for us to be on the same page and to be able to communicate about some things and then hit those, we communicate about one thing. We asked Pete, like, hey, Pete, we like this play. He's like, okay, boom. We go into a drive, second play, or first play, boom. He calls it, we hit it, And that not only, builds our relationship, but it builds the relationship with the coaching staff and, the trust. And the trust is growing for everybody. But you can only do that with real games, and to do it in a hostile place like this against a good defense is always fun.
What did you see on the touchdown to Foster?
Without getting too schematic, it was just a good look for the play, and it was a great design by Pete. And then Pete puts the players in good position, and Foster and the offensive line made an amazing effort to get into the end zone. And I thought that was a big drive for us, to go down there. We're winning the game, but still to go down there and punch it in, get another touchdown. It's not even about the Patriots. When it was about us, and in that moment for us to punch it in like that and build that confidence, I thought was great. Yep, appreciate it.
Man. Well, I've been preaching at the podium the past couple of times, and they keep asking me to come back, y'all. So I guess I'll keep on preaching. Firstly, praise God. What a wonderful game today. I think I'm just blown away that it's the Lord's Day, and oftentimes many of us don't get to go to church on Sunday because we're either here working or playing this game or watching this game. So we do have the opportunity to bring church to us. I think after a game like that, it's very easy to praise us, praise our team. But it's the Lord's Day, and so I'm always conscious to try to deflect that praise, or I want to be conscious to deflect that praise to Him. I think over the past week, I've just been thinking about how easy it is for us to kind of mask our hurt and pain. And it's easy to deflect and watch a game like this and be entertained for an entire day or multiple days. But then we go back to our reality, and this game is great. It's provided a lot of blessings, but there's nothing inside this game that can help when something happens to us individually and we're hurting. If something happens to my kids or our kids, there's nothing in this game that can help necessarily with that. Talking about kids specifically, my daughter is doing well. She's still doing well. Thank you guys for the prayers. If something happens in your relationships, there's nothing inside this game that can help with that. If something happens catastrophically in your finances, people who played this game, there's nothing that could help them with that. If something happens in your career, there's nothing in this game that can help you with that. But where there is help is at the cross. See, the cross not only can save you spiritually, what Jesus done and is doing can help you in your current day life. And I think we need to take time to be reminded of that, because a lot of us are hurting and we're masking it like we're not. And so being able to have Sunday, that's what at least the Lord's Day is, a reminder of that. And if we take time and don't use the Lord's Day for what it's actually there for, to remind us of the Lord, and take time to praise the Lord and make sure our focus is right, man, we miss a great opportunity. And I just don't want that to pass before us. And so I'm grateful for that. So that's why I come in and say, praise God. I'm grateful for this platform on a Sunday that I can, even if I miss church, I get to come in and have church. And so praise God for that. I guess this time I am going to open it for questions, but I'm going to save my football questions for next week. But if you got any life questions or anything that maybe I can go deeper on what I've shared, I do want to open the floor up for that.
Do y'all find time to go over scripture or anything like that, whether it be at the facility or pre or post game?
Man, that's a phenomenal question. Do we get a chance to go over scripture? On Wednesdays, we have team prayer. And so anybody in our building that's going through something, whether it's on the field, off the field, life, we have team prayer on Wednesday mornings, usually about an hour before we have our team meeting. And it's been phenomenal. And that's where you really get to see what people are going through. Most of the time, the prayers are not football related. And we pray for 30 minutes to an hour. And our room is full and people are praying. And, you know, that's something that we do. And we also have team Bible study weekly and team chapel weekly. But we're constantly trying to stay on our real mission as believers in the locker room. But whether you're a believer or not believer, we want to make sure that you know that the cross is available and the power of God is available for you. Thank you for that. Thank you, guys. Y'all be blessed.
I think we're going to finish up with Michael Thomas in just a moment.
Hey, Mike, Derek brought up that you were just kind of willing, knowing going into a play that you're going to get probably hit on.
Yeah.
Where does that come from for you, and why is that important for you to be that guy?
Just my love for the game, having a sense of urgency, knowing when my teammates need me, and just accountability. If he gives me an assignment, I got to go out there and execute it and make the play happen. Therefore, we get to the other plays and execute like the offense we're capable of being. Very important. Every week is going to be important for us to play like we played today and keep building and do our job and play complementary football and do the things that we're capable of doing. This is just one game, and we'll enjoy it, but we know it's back to work, and we still have to keep finding ways to get better, keep attention to details, keep taking coaching, all the things DA tells us to do. That's all we have to do, and execute, and we'll have fun days like today. Honestly, I wasn't the guy going in motion, so my eyes always face forward. I trust whatever Pete calls and whatever the guys call in the situations they put us in to make plays and execute. They've done, even though they've got some of the heat, they've done tremendous and they've done their job. We just have to make those plays that we made today and keep making them and keep building, and everything will start opening up. And it's great to have 4-1 back. He ran the ball tremendous today. The offensive line from the first drive were tremendous, and they did great, and we fed off them, and we knew we had to make plays. And, man, it was just fun to play that type of game with these guys.
Mike, how would you describe that rapport that you've been building with Derek to the point where there's a nonverbal communication where you're getting that hand signal?
Yeah, I mean, that's it should always be pitch and catch between me and him. I hate to say it, but when I was with Drew, that's all we did. Pitch and catch, find open throws, nonverbal communication, talk after every play. So we're building that and holding each other to a high standard.
Michael, you were talking about Alvin, and of course he's now the all-time touchdown record leader for the Saints. Just for him to get that, you've been with him for a long time, just as a teammate.
Oh, man, Alvin's going to score a lot of more touchdowns this year. But that one was definitely a special one. But the number of touchdowns that he'll end up scoring his whole career here will blow that out the window. And I don't know. We don't want to get too high on that. We would definitely want to give him his credit on what he did and the record that he did. But we have so much football ahead of us that he could shatter the record. So it's never how you start, but it's how you finish. So I think he's going to be able. That number will just keep going up and up and up by the end of the season. Then we could talk about that because I think that would be a true record.
Albert also spoke a little bit about kind of the collaboration between players, coaches, just the conversation going on. How important is that to this offense role?
Just sense of urgency, communicating, letting the guys know what we see. Anytime we can help each other is beneficial for our offense as a whole. So everything we did today, I think it benefited us in the right way, and we got to taste it, and we want more.
About a minute to go in the game, UNTA shared a moment there. Can you just
Wait, can you repeat that?
With about a minute to go in the game, UNTA shared a moment on the sideline. What was said at that time?
Yeah, I just congratulated him on the victory. I know how much he wants to win, and he coaches us hard. He does so many great things as a head coach. You want to see him win. So to be able to shake his hand with after a performance like that, hats off to him. You got to give credit where credit's due. He did a great job today for us, and I was proud of him. And that's ultimately what we want to do every week. So just to be able to do that, we got to give credit where credit's due. He did a tremendous job today.
Michael, you had that scoring drive, it was a 3rd and 11, the first scoring drive. You had that 15 for 26. Can you walk me through that play? And do you feel like that was offensively? Obviously, you guys close it with a touchdown, but how big for you, just kind of walking that play, and how I guess significant to extend that drive to
Man, I love making plays like that for this team. I love making those big time catches over the middle. Even that's why I tell Derek, I'm like, man, I'm a big body. Let me take some hits. I take some hits. I enjoy that. He gave me an opportunity to make a play, and I know what that means when your number is called and for this offense as a whole. And we hear all the stuff they're saying, and we know we gotta come out and score fast and all that. So we put the onus on ourselves, and that's just accountability to make those plays and not get off the field and get to more plays. Because if you don't convert on 3rd down, then we never know what we have. So we got to convert on 3rd down so we get to more plays. But I also encourage the guys that we're a team. We don't have to live on 3rd down. We can execute on 1st and 2nd down.
You were saying you were hearing noise. How big was this unit just to put a performance like that, especially with all the heat that's been on Pete Carmichael going into this week, the offense struggling as a unit? How motivated was this?
That's what good teams do. They accept the challenge and they come out and they have a dominant performance like that and they get back to work and keep stacking them. That's what good teams do. We like that. We like when people go against us because that gives us a chance to respond and accept the challenge. And I definitely like it. And whatever they saying, we're gonna always go hard and we're gonna go out there and compete and represent. And I'm ready for the next one.
Mike, entering this week, the Patriots, they had some turnover among quarterbacks. Christian Gonzalez got hurt. J.C. Jackson comes in. How does that impact your preparation coming into the game? And then, now that the game's over, how do you feel like those matchups impact the game?
We might have left a couple plays out there if we're being honest, for sure. But we treat those guys like nameless faces. All respect to them, but whoever lines up across from them, we got to execute and get open and do our job. So we treat them all like nameless faces. And we want some more. That's it. I want some more. I'm ready for the next one.
Mike, when the run game's going like it is today, can you feel the extra space in the back end?
Definitely. The run game was tremendous today. Even Taysom ran the ball hard. Kendra ran the ball hard. Of course, Alvin. I saw it. Derek, he might have had a couple of scrambles too. But I think we played with a sense of urgency, and we could definitely build off this.
On that in cut you had, you took a big shot and came out and you didn't show it. You were kind of.
Yeah.
How important is that to not show the defense that you were?
Oh man, that's mental. That's like a mindset. You got to get back up. You got to. That's just something that's built inside of me. I can't really explain that, but that's even kind of like my whole story. You get knocked down, you got to get up. But I'm used to getting up. I'm going to keep getting up.
Like, obviously, the way the last few seasons have gone with the injuries and surgeries, and just from your kind of mental space right now, how where are you right now in terms of just being able to go out there and be available every day?
Yeah, I just want to come out here, motivate my teammates, bring energy, bring juice, play dominant football, move the chains, things that an X does. That's what I want to be, and that's what I'm working towards, and just grinding, seeing what it gives me.
Like Alvin said last year, he kind of talked to the team after that loss to the Cardinals and maybe called people out, and the next week was a win against the Raiders. Do you feel like your talk to the team after last week could have had any similar motivation?
I mean, I'm not one of those guys where I just talk to my team like 1 week and then I talk to my teammates every week. I talk to my teammates all game. Like, whatever it takes, just adding that sense of urgency, keeping guys like alert and being a leader and just letting them know we on a mission. We're here to win games. So if we see guys veering off, we got to get them right in line fast. So it's just like the culture we're building here. We just want to – all we care about is winning, honestly. There's nothing to be said like when we lose, because that's not the standard. So I don't want to act like that was just like me talking to the team for that time. I'm going to be talking to this team all season.
AK said you were like,
That's why we
calling for a specific play.
Yeah.
It just never ended up coming. I guess like how hungry was the team to just like everybody wanted to go out?
Yeah, we wanted to go out there and dominate for sure. Pete and our guys, they were aggressive too. We felt it, so we were aggressive too on telling them what we wanted. And, you know, we just want to move this ball down the field and win a lot of games. So whatever it takes, guys being hungry and wanting the ball, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as when your number is called, you make the play and move the chains. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.
That was just wide receiver Michael Thomas, who led the team in receiving yards today with 65 receiving yards. There were 9 different players who had receptions in this game. We talked about the offense and Carr's ability to distribute the ball today. They had a lot of people involved in the offense, and Alvin Kamara got his 73rd touchdown, which now makes him the all-time leader for Saints touchdowns. Foster Moreau, the tight end, got into the end zone for the first time this year, and wide receiver Chris Olave.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it was a really good game for a lot of different people.
Yeah, and that's I said earlier when we started the show, like there were so many things inside of this big-time win that a lot of guys are going to take positives from and encourage their growth as a player. And you listen to Michael talk, and I love hearing guys give props and credit to all their teammates. Because when you have a team of guys who's happy for other guys' performances and are encouraging other guys to be their best, and one of the simple things we talked about earlier was Jimmy ran that right across the middle, and nobody knows whether or not Jimmy was supposed to sit or Derek had a bad pass. And it's because of the way their body language and the way they respect one another and don't treat one another that I think it leads to you to believe that they have a chance to be a really, really good team. And then we're going to find out, because in 12 days, counting today, you're going to play 3 games coming up. So Michael wants to play the next game. It's coming, and then you play a short week. So we're going to see whether or not this team is the team we all believe they are in a week and a half based on record and winning the NFC South. So a lot of really good things, and you said it, individual performances. Guys have a lot to build on from today.
Yeah, there are going to be a lot of games in a short amount of time, and you went up against a Patriots squad who has been struggling. It's really nice to be able to play the way that you should against a team like that and have the defensive performance that they did. And head coach Dennis Allen is not going to give anybody any praise ever. He's going to find something to be upset about. But he did say the defense played good. They had a shutout in this one. They held the Patriots to 156 total yards, 45 rushing yards, and they were 1 of 14 on third down conversions. How impressive is that, though, for a defense to hold an NFL team to those numbers?
It's really impressive. And I think what happens, sometimes you watch a game and everybody says, well, the Patriots have quarterback troubles and the Patriots aren't a good team. They're still an NFL team coached by arguably the greatest coach of all time. That is a good football team. They may not win a ton of games, but they're a well-coached team, And I think when you start to look through the box score and the team stats, and you're saying, wait, you have an NFL team to 150 yards? That's impressive. 1 for 14 on third. Then you got to throw in 0 for 2 on fourth downs. So it's like being 1 for 16. And you doubled the time of possession. You won the turnover takeaway battle. You were +3 in that. You won't lose an NFL game with those type of stats. Will that happen very often? No. But you were the better team. And this what's important for the Saints, and we said this before, is you have to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. You were way better. You're a better football team than the New England Patriots, and you went out and showed it today, and you took advantage. Once you felt like you had that lead, you just kept piling on and played some of your best football.
How much confidence can this team gain from a performance like this?
Oh, a ton, because I think especially last week when you all feel like you should have been 3-1, and you don't really want to live in the past. And, speaking of that, Blake Grupe today, hitting 2 huge kicks, 50+. So that's another player that can build their confidence. But this team, they know how good they are. And when they're sitting there and you're looking at the win-loss record in 2-2, and every player and coach is sitting there saying, man, we are better than this. Our record is better than 2-2. We can coach better on the offensive side of the ball. We can play better on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive guys, just hang in there and keep playing and don't get discouraged. Because a lot of times what happens is one side of the ball is playing better than the other, so guys start to get discouraged. And you never really saw that with this team. The encouragement, the interlocked of all the personalities in this locker room, I think are really impressive. And this could be a defining moment. The adversity happened early in the season. Maybe this will be a defining moment this past week of telling you who the Saints are at the end of the year.
I think everybody that came to the podium today talked about how this was a complete game. All 3 phases really came together. Complimentary football. You mentioned it. Blake Grupe, he hits a career long in 54 yards, and then he goes right back out there and hits a 53-yard field goal. So it didn't come down to him. They were able to get into the end zone today, but still good to see him get his opportunities and follow through and get some points there as the game went on. One player, though, that I think really stood out for me today was defensive end Carl Granderson. He has just continued to improve with each game. He had a sack. He had 2 quarterback hurries, 3 tackles for a loss. He was all over the place. And I think, I don't know, somebody tweeted it saying that, does he have the Patriots playbook? Because he's everywhere that they were trying to go and just stopped everything. How good has his maturation been?
It's been phenomenal. And I think anytime you reward a player with a contract like they did with Carl, it was because of his performance. He wasn't a highly drafted guy. He wasn't a first-round pick. It wasn't one of those things where we paid you because we invested a lot in you early. We paid you because you've been a productive player, and we believe your best years are to come. And Carl's playing that way. And anytime you sign a contract with an organization, you're expected to continue to perform and excel. And for him to go out and play the way he did today, he was all over. I mean, he pressured the pocket. Even plays that don't show up in the box score, he affected. He affected a lot of plays by what the Patriots were trying to do. And the pass rush was the key to the game. They rushed 4 most of the day, and still the Patriots had no time to throw the ball.
Yeah. Before the game, in the pregame show, we asked how many sacks we thought that the defense was going to get. Most people thought it was going to be 3 or more. They did have 2, but they definitely were affecting the play immensely. They were getting in the backfield. They were stopping a lot of plays, hurrying Mac Jones, and obviously forced 2 interceptions as well. Cam Jordan had a fumble recovery, so it was just a really great defensive performance overall. I'm hoping that, yes, this does give everybody confidence. They can see what this team can do, and they continue to improve, because next week they have a tough matchup in the Houston Texans and rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud. They did lose today to the Falcons, but that's not going to be an easy game to go to Houston and play them. What do you think the biggest challenge will be there?
Well, I just think you've heard Dennis and other people in the league talk about stacking wins. This is the epitome of stacking wins. 3 games in 12 days, you have a chance to really boost your schedule and the way your season's going to go. Especially, we talk about quarters of the season. Your second quarter of the season jumped right on top of you, and you're going to have a chance to clear up a bunch of games right away. When the season schedule came out, I think a lot of people probably pointed to the Texans game as, oh, it's probably a W. They have a rookie quarterback, a rookie head coach. DeMeco Ryans is going to be a fantastic head coach in this league. C.J. Stroud is looking like he should have been the number 1 overall pick in the league. He set the record today for most pass attempts by a rookie without throwing an interception. He still has not thrown an interception. So he's playing really good football. And just like we've seen in this league, anybody can be beat. And if you saw Cam talk, Cam hit it perfect. There's a lot of times as fans, we watch the games and we think it just kind of leads in from one week to the next. And these weeks always happen where upsets happen. It's because these guys spend so much time watching film. They spend so much time on their bodies. They spend so much time trying to strategically beat the other team in the way we're lining up our chess pieces as coaches. So there's a lot that can happen between one week and the next, but the Texans are going to be a really good team to face.
Well, after the game, running back Alvin Kamara said that safety Tyrann Mathieu owed him an interception. So maybe it'll come next week against the Texans and he'll get C.J. Stroud's first. Thank you so much for joining us for this one. A 34-0 victory over the New England Patriots for Scott Shanle, John DeShazier, who is hopefully catching a plane right now, right back to New Orleans. I'm Erin Summers. It was a great Saints victory. We'll be back with you again next week.